about this so-called, I call it the fake gender war, which is just another example of disgruntled women trying to get attention. What do you think of the gender warring, the animosity between black men and women, from your from what you do and conversations you have, or maybe what you've seen? What do you think of this online gender war, quote unquote, that may or may not be going on?
That may or may. I love the way you've disclaimed everything. The kind of, sort of, fake kind of. But oh man, this gender war thing is, honestly, I just went through an experience no, this was not online. Let me not lie. In the background of a TV show I'm on. And I saw it happening and I was like,
Wow.
is this what it looks like in real life? Is this really a gender war right now? And it became a lot of things. And that's what I'm starting to notice. The gender war, it's broad, but when you bring it back and start tearing it down into our community, you start realizing there's colorism involved. There's the feminist movement is obviously all written up in there somewhere. And there's so many different facets that are happening within the gender war. And I'm like, this is very interesting. And I'm frustrated. I'm being honest with you. I'm frustrated with it because I don't agree with a lot of the things that are coming from, quote unquote, my group of people, which would happen to be women or black women, whichever category you want to put me in. And yeah, I'm frustrated because I can't speak what I want to speak. And unfortunately, those are my clientele. So I can't necessarily always say how I feel because I could be alienating myself from my own, income. But I don't agree with pretty much 95% of what has to be said out here. And it's hard. And that's why I do like spaces like yours, the YouTube and whatever else mediums are out there that speak on things that I agree with, because it's hard to find. But unfortunately, I'm generally kind of grouped up with a lot of men because not a lot of women feel the same way.
Yeah, I would say that too. I would say,
Yeah.
I'm surprised that you don't get pushback from maybe certain things you've spoke about or maybe even shared. Cause I'm like, I'm pretty sure they'd be on her.
Listen, I do. I actually do. And that's why I don't say as much. And that's why you might even see me kind of hesitate on certain things here and kind of beat around the bush, if you will, because I have a lot of things that I do want to say, but I feel that I'm not allowed to. Maybe if I were to leave this industry or, create another form of income, I'll be able to scream it from the rooftops the way I want to. But in a private setting, if you were to speak with me, there are a lot of things I completely disagree with from my gender and the way they've approached things and where we are today. And if we look back at where we were, maybe, I was going to say 60 years ago, even 20 years ago, and where we are now, where did all of this fighting bring us? We are definitely losing the battle, and we're losing it against ourselves. It doesn't make sense now, and we have groups like, MGTOW, all of this that are staying away from us because of the fight. Listen, it makes no sense. It makes no sense, and I'm frustrated. I am, if that comes across.
Yeah, I know, because again, you have certain, like you're having a bit of a awakening that others around you haven't, and you're gravitating towards what I'm saying or maybe what others are saying,
right?
And you're starting to get it.
Right.
You're in a space where you're starting to sort of wake up, in a sense. You're starting to notice things, and you're starting to gravitate towards something that maybe you weren't before, that others around you aren't. And you want to be able to embrace it. And I'm saying, not saying that you don't, but I know you want to be able to embrace it amongst others that may not be quick to. But sometimes,
absolutely.
It takes people wanting to embrace something.
Absolutely. And yeah, I've kind of always been this way, but I didn't really look at myself in that way to say, like, I'm really quite different. And then people would say there's something different about you, there's just something about you. And I never clicked to the fact that it's actually just the fact that I don't join the group. I'm not a part of the group. I'm not a follower of the group. I don't subscribe to the group. Feminism, I deal with femininity, but I've never been one of those people that follow any of those types of movements. And I also deal with health now a lot, and I don't follow that movement either when it comes to the whole. There's a lot of groups there. Actually, I don't want to get into too many of them, but fat phobias and body positive movements. I'm not there with that, and my mindset is just so strong against it, even when I was in a different body. So it's crazy when I look at all of these groups and they want me to follow what I do not believe in. And I just think a lot of us need to just really open up our eyes and see what's going on out here. It doesn't make sense. None of it adds up, and they're just screaming it louder and louder. It doesn't make it make sense.
Right. And that's the thing. They think that, or they'll use cancel culture against you. And
yes, that's a big one. Yeah.
And that's why I tell people,
I don't believe in.
Yeah, they will try anything to keep you from being and believing and speaking on the things that you're passionate about.
Yes.
And you just can't, you can never let them do that, because then you can't live. That's why so many people have mental health issues now, because they can't live and be who they are and think what they want to think.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like, and the thinking what they want to think is a big one, because I see people being, thrown in virtual jails just for saying a few things that that are true, that are very true, but they're not allowed to say it.
They get attacked by the mob, and then 2 days later it's like nothing happened. Because people move on. They just need somebody. They need flesh in that moment.
Absolutely. And there's never going to be an apology or anything like that to rectify the situation. They'll just keep moving.
Right.
Mob mentality.
Let's get into. If you want to see the rest of this podcast, make sure y'all click the link in the description box and go and check it out. Also, make sure you support the podcast, donate, share it. I'll see you next time.